Chapter 1. The Physics of Grace. The ocean is a chaotic laboratory, but to Kelly Slater, it is a canvas. For over 3 decades, Slater has dominated the World Surf League, WSL, with a level of precision that borders on the supernatural. While most athletes retire in their 30s, Kelly, even in his 50s, remains a significant threat to surfers half his age. His secret isn't just physical strength, it's his remarkable ability to read the energy of the water before the wave even breaks. Growing up in Cocoa Beach, Florida, the waves were small and weak. This environment was crucial. It forced Kelly to become tough and technical. He had to learn how to generate speed where there was none. By the time he arrived in Australia for the first time as a young pro, he was a grommet, a young surfer, with the mind of a grandmaster. Chapter 2. The Australian Connection. Australia is the spiritual home of competitive surfing, and Kelly's relationship with the land down under is legendary. Every year, the tour stops at Bells Beach in Victoria. It's a place where the Southern Ocean sends massive, cold swells toward towering cliffs. One year, the conditions were a total shambles. The wind was blowing the wrong way, the tide was too high, and most surfers were complaining in the combi, an Australian term for a van, short for combi. But not Kelly. He stood on the cliffs, looking at the gray water with a straightforward focus. He didn't see a mess. He saw a pattern. "You going out in that, Kelly?" a local Aussie surfer asked. "Yeah, mate," Kelly replied with a grin. "Just going for a quick paddle." In Australia, a paddle sounds easy, but out there it meant fighting against currents that could pull a car out to sea. That day, he won the event, ringing the famous Bells Trophy and cementing his status as a ripper, a term Aussies use for someone who performs exceptionally well. Chapter 3. The famous Baywatch anecdote. People often forget that at the height of his early fame in the 90s, Kelly was a mainstream celebrity. He even had a recurring role on the TV show Baywatch. This leads us to one of the most hilarious and surreal anecdotes of his career. Kelly was filming on a beach in California, surrounded by cameras and actors in red swimsuits. The script was often, let's say, less than intellectual. During one scene, the director asked Kelly to act like he was struggling in the water. "Kelly," the director shouted through a megaphone, "can you look more like you're drowning? You look too comfortable." Slater, the man who had survived 20-foot waves at Pipeline, looked at the director and laughed. The situation was ridiculous. He was being asked to pretend he couldn't swim in 3 feet of calm water. Later that day, a group of local surfies, Australian slang for surf enthusiasts, recognized him from the shore. They didn't care about the cameras or the famous actors. They started yelling, "Oi, Kelly! Stop playing with the plastic people and come catch a real wave!" Kelly looked at the admin side of Hollywood, the hours of waiting, the makeup, the scripts, and realized his heart belonged to the swell. He famously left the show shortly after, choosing the unpredictability of the ocean over the scripted safety of television. Chapter 4. The Innovation of a Visionary. Slater is not just a sportsman. He is an engineer. He spent years obsessing over surfboard design, changing the industry by making boards shorter and thinner. He also did something that seemed like a disaster to traditionalists. He built a perfect wave in the middle of a desert. The Surf Ranch in Lemoore, California, is a feat of engineering. Using a massive hydrofoil, he created a wave that never ends. When the footage first leaked, the internet went crazy. People thought it was fake, but it was real. Kelly had conquered the one thing no one could control: consistency. However, despite the technology, Kelly remains a purist. He still loves the raw, unfiltered experience of the Australian outback, the remote interior and coastline. He often travels to secret spots in Western Australia, away from the paparazzi and the crowds. Out there, he is just another bloke in a wetsuit, looking for a barrel, the hollow part of a breaking wave. Chapter 5. The Vanishing Act of Retirement. For 20 years, the media has asked the same question: when will Kelly Slater retire? Every time they think he has vanished from the top tier of the sport, he returns with a victory that defies logic. In 2022, just days before his 50th birthday, he won the Billabong Pro Pipeline in Hawaii. It was a significant achievement, perhaps the greatest in the history of all sports. It proved that age is a narrative, not a limit. But Kelly knows that eventually the jersey will come off. When he does finally step away, he won't be remembered just for the 11 world titles. He will be remembered for his stoked attitude, the Australian way of saying he is perpetually excited and grateful. Chapter 6. The Legacy of the King. Today, Kelly continues to compete, but his focus has shifted toward environmentalism and sustainability. He founded a clothing brand that uses recycled ocean plastic, proving that he cares about the big blue as much as he cares about winning. If you ever find yourself on the Gold Coast of Australia, at a break like Snapper Rocks, look closely at the lineup. You might see a bald man on a small board, moving with a fluid grace that makes the ocean seem like it's dancing with him. He won't have a crown, and he won't have a film crew. He'll just be a legend, enjoying a glassy morning, proving that as long as there are waves, the king will never truly leave the water.
Now is your turn. Try using today's words in a sentence and leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped you improve your English and prepare for your trip to Australia. I'll be uploading more videos with vocabulary and experiences about working in Australia. So don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any. See you in the next video.